We begin today with the carnage in Waukesha, Wisconsin, where 5 people are dead, another 48 people, that's the latest number, injured, including multiple children, as a result of the acts of a 39-year-old man, he happens to be black, who mowed them down during a holiday parade, apparently without a thought for their humanity. Now, it appears this guy, a career criminal, was intent on killing as many people as possible, and pursuant to your reporter's long-standing policy, we will not be showing pictures of him or repeating the name of this suspected mass murderer, because in too many of these cases, men like this or those copying them are after a kind of infamy, and we decline to help. This man has a rap sheet that would make any felon blush. 2 years in prison for aggravated battery back in 1999, arrested multiple times for carrying a concealed weapon, possession of drugs over and over, multiple charges for resisting arrest or obstructing an officer, a criminal sentence of strangulation and suffocation of another, domestic abuse, battery, probation violations, bail jumping many times, failure to appear in court. Oh, having sex with a minor. He's a sex offender, registered now. He did 8 months in jail this year alone for shooting at a car on the road after a fight. No sooner had he gotten out for that than he was arrested again on November 2nd for hunting down the mother of one of his children, allegedly punching her with a closed fist and then running her over with his car, the very one he allegedly used against children and grandmothers on Sunday, a maroon Ford Escape. The reason he was out on the street so soon? He posted the joke of a bail required by the DA there for his alleged crimes, $1,000. This guy was an obvious danger to the community. His risk of jumping bail was clear to any sane observer. Still, they let him out, allegedly because they couldn't quite get his trial scheduled fast enough for the bleeding heart DA, and therefore decided the public should bear the risk of this thug being allowed to roam. None of this is by accident. You see, while the Milwaukee County DA's office is now admitting, quote, our bail recommendation was inappropriately low, the DA himself, John Chisholm, loves letting accused criminals out of jail with a free pass. Chisholm prides himself on being a woke prosecutor, seeking cred with the social justice crowd. You should see his Twitter feed. He's been working with a far-left group to eliminate cash bail. They actually praised him for, quote, redefining the role of prosecutor in this new era, saying, quote, Chisholm stuck his neck out there and started saying that prosecutors should also be judged by their success in reducing mass incarceration and achieving racial equality. He, too, prizes equity, that term that the left loves so much, in his role as prosecutor. This in a county that has seen its homicide rate soar nearly 100% since last year. And it's not just Milwaukee County, Wisconsin. Cash bail reform is happening state to state. A woke, AOC-endorsed method of criminal justice reform that, instead of ensuring that defendants show up at trial by requiring them to either stay in jail before the big day or to post cash bail, which they would then forfeit if they were to skip town, this lets defendants remain free after arrest, unless they're deemed a threat to the community or a flight risk. This guy in the maroon SUV was clearly both, and this DA failed his community any way you slice it. Meanwhile, we get lectured by the media and woke Democrats about how the criminal justice system is based in white supremacy, too lenient on whites and too tough on black defendants. In the wake of the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, we have seen calls to, quote, throw out the entire system by people like Colin Kaepernick and Ibram X. Kendi. How about the system that lets a career criminal out of prison with a joke bail, knowing full well he's a danger to society, in an effort to score points with who? BLM? Far-left criminal justice reform groups? Because I agree, that system does need help, just not the kind that Ibram Kendi wants. This social justice engineering has no business in our courts. If these woke warriors had their way, Kyle Rittenhouse would be spending the rest of his life in prison for acts that were clearly legally justified, and the next would-be mass murderer would also be let out on the street to kill despite a long criminal history. All so that folks like AOC, driving her $70,000 Tesla and surrounded by security, or Cori Bush with her taxpayer-funded guards can say, see, I care about my community.